All right, here he is, Mr. Training Camp himself, Patrick Reusse. With we're just going to give you the floor here for your deep dive on the first 2 days of Camp KOC.
Well, I'm not surprised at all that Coach O'Connell and Kirk are just like this. I'm not surprised at all that we knew that was coming.
Yeah, they've already met more than Zimmer and Kirk did in 4 years, so it's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, because I got a hunch the more you meet Kirk, the less you like him. But that's
unnecessary shot there.
That's an unnecessary cheap shot by me. But yeah, well, I guess that's good. And the full kumbaya, our reliable hand grenade thrower, Chris Thomason, kind of threw a little mess into the love affair, though, right? He has a tweet last night that they were going to kind of do the Chris Carter camp, right?
Yeah, something like that.
He got Randy to come to that once in Florida, and they'd run up steps and get in shape, and Chris had put him through hell to get all the receivers, and then they try to get the quarterback at the time to show up, right? I think Dante might have showed up once or twice. I don't know. And apparently Jefferson organized one of these, but Kirk didn't show up.
Yeah, Kirk said no thanks.
Yeah, and Jefferson said, he's a family guy. He likes to be with his family in the offseason and stuff. I don't blame him. So during that time, the receivers got together. And then Jefferson retweeted the quote and said, this is being taken out of, I think he said taken out of proportion. So either taken out of context.
Of course it is. That's what we do, for God's sake. Isn't that what Kwesi tried to say about his USA Today interview too? It was misconstrued, right?
Yes.
Yes. The fact that he said, we don't have Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. We don't have a cinch. We don't know if we can win the Super Bowl, so we're not going to go all in. Wasn't that the message?
Yes, that
was the message. We're not going all in because we don't have Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes type quarterback. So okay, that's but let's take it at face value instead. I was misconstrued.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this is all now. It's being so with both of these stories, right? The Kwesi thing and the Jefferson thing. I think the media is taking the brunt of course, the media twists things and the media takes this. I mean, if you guys had, I think it was some innocent moments of honesty and truth from Kwesi and Jefferson, fairly harmless. And
yes. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with either of those, but they're now have to in the kumbaya, in the post-evil Zim era, we have to pretend like everything is just lovely out there. It's going to be now Kwesi's saying he's not going to talk as much, right? Didn't he say he's not going to talk as much? His wife.
Yeah, I think he said I'm going to. Yeah, I think he's pulling back a bit.
I don't, this could work out great, but the guy never stepped on a football field. I want a guy that at least got hit once. Okay. I want a guy that, I want a guy that has at least one football concussion in his past running my team. He's got to have at least one damn good concussion in his past to be running my football.
You should put that on when you do the job posting for the GM, right? Ideally, 4 years of college, organizational skills, scouting background, and at least one concussion. You must prove.
Football-induced concussion. Yes.
Football-induced.
Yeah. Got to be football-induced concussion. No, I don't know. It's training camp is. I just don't think it's any fun out there. In Mankato, it was fun. It was a gathering. It was you got to see Viking fans, who made the trek and hung out on the field. Now there's fans out there, but they're, them and the kids are over playing on some playground field, and it's a profiteering. It's a thing for profit, and it's I never was a man. I tried to avoid Mankato at all costs.
You did a good job.
I'm going to avoid this 100%. I have no interest. I have no interest in going out there and standing next to the podium and listen to these guys talk to 60 reporters. I have no interest in that. Sorry.
The problem now too is in Mankato, Pat, you at least had a fighting chance of actually having real conversations with people whose guard was down a bit, that's gone completely now. So you can't, get those moments of truth at Boomtown where the executives had 5 beers. And now he's going to tell you something, and you're like, oh, that's very intriguing. I'm going to remember that through my haze tomorrow. Those days are completely gone. It's just a shame.
My favorite thing about Mankato is because, the Minnesota State football players, they also had sort of purple and gold colors for all their swag. And I remember on one of the many nights at Boomtown, and I think I was actually sitting next to, I won't say the name, but it was someone who's now very high up in Vikings PR, and at the time they were more on the ground level of Vikings PR. And he elbows me and he goes, "You see what's happening over here?" So it was past player curfew. It was like, I think the player curfew was 9 o'clock. And so there was another, this is like 10 o'clock now, and there was another large man, probably a 250 to 300 pound young man wearing purple and gold swag, telling some gal at the bar, just I'm just here for football camp, and
never lied.
No, he did not.
In all seriousness, I think I think a really big thing for them is the tight end playing this year. Don't you, Irv Smith?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I think him playing this year really gives them a weapon that they did not have last year. And what, has he been hurt 2 years in a row, or did he play full time 2 years ago?
He battled some injuries, and he battled some injuries though his second season. He was in and out of the lineup a little bit.
I think he is a weapon that can make Kirk's life a lot easier, giving him another option. That's for sure. I would say him being healthy is maybe more important than some of the other stuff that they've done. And they could be okay on the offensive line, don't you think? I mean, if Cleveland can play, the center's not good, but I think that I do think they can win 10 games. I think they can win 10 games, and that's enough to win the division.
Yeah. On the offensive line, I know we spend a lot of time in consternation about Garrett Bradbury, rightfully so. But it's been, we had a couple of years of Riley Reif holding down the fort at left tackle, but it's been a while since you've had the long-term answer at the most important offensive line position, and they might have it now in Christian Darrisaw.
Yes, that was there was some. Why was he going down in the draft 2 years ago? I can't remember. What some
Darrisaw?
Yes, they didn't think he was big enough. Was that it?
And he was hurt too.
His injury.
He's been a little bit hurt, but
he'd had surgery.
I remember I happened to be in a car, and I was listening to the draft, and I think maybe ESPN or whatever, probably our station, and they were shocked that Washington didn't take him before the Vikings, because Washington needed the left tackle, and so I do think, we always say fell down to a guy, that this guy fell to us, blah blah blah. I mean, even the Twins are trying to hand out that BS now, but I really do think he landed in their lap. That they had no thoughts that they were going to get him without trading up. So, let's see if he's a player or not. But I do think I've always been of contention that the two lines determine whether you're a good football team or not. All the time you go through with the Vikings, the good Vikings teams have always had good offensive lines, and they got to have one of those. Nothing's going to happen. Because we all know Kirk, when he doesn't, no matter what they're trying to tell us, he does not handle pressure. So, anyway, and guess what? A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't handle pressure. So I think that there's cause for optimism, but not enough for me to actually go out to Egan. So,
well, you wouldn't see much, Pat. So, your assessment there was absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're exactly right. So, you're not going to go out there and say, "Oh, the right guard, I was wrong about that guy. That guy can really play."
Wow, can he? Is he hell on wheels?
Hey, what did you think of this? I think they've now, through public shame, I think they're taking it out of the contract now. But there were reports for 2 days that Kyler Murray had a clause in his contract: you must study uninterrupted film for 4 hours a week.
Apparently, he was always on his phone. He's an adult playing TikTok and stuff on TikTok.
Oh, you're not playing TikTok, Pat. You're watching it, and it's unbelievable.
I will say,
I'm all in.
and maybe you old codgers have a hard time wrapping your head around this, but it is possible, Declan, for young people to concentrate on both TikTok and maybe a Derek Jeter documentary and maybe some show prep. Like, we're always spinning three plates here.
Maybe getting ready to play football. You know what? The guy ain't that good. He's a mistake-prone, overrated phony, and they just gave him $230 million. They get what they deserve. But how about, do they think that by taking that clause out, it's going to lessen the conversation?
Right.
Only increase the conversation. Ignore it, and it'll go away in 2 days. But now they have made a bigger deal about it than it had to be. I mean, of course, him coming out and having a press conference. Damian Woody was just on ripping the whole lot thing today about being stupid enough to come out and have a press conference about it. Kyler Murray. I don't know. He's who's made the dumbest quarterback move of the offseason? Them giving all this money to a guy who doesn't give a damn, or Cleveland giving up half the franchise for a guy.
Cleveland.
Probably Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Supposedly he's going to get suspended for 2 years.
Oh,
What?
it's 2 now? I heard one before, and he was going to sue him.
2. Well, maybe it'll be maybe one, and then good behavior.
Good God.
Well, here's the other thing, and this is probably more of an Arizona thing than because Cleveland traded for Deshaun Watson. But the problem is in the NFL, you draft a quarterback, and you get him on that rookie scale contract for 4 or 5 years, and it's great. Like Dak Prescott as a 4th round pick was making $900,000 or something the first couple of years, and it's great. And you can build out your roster, and Teddy Bridgewater was kind of that for a couple of years. But then after 4 years, you get to a point where there is no middle ground.
Yes.
You either give them whatever the top rate is at that time, $35-40 million a year, or you say goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's true, and you get him for 1 more year, right? They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to do this, right?
Well, if they wanted him beyond the 1 more year,
and then doesn't he have? This was only his 3rd year, wasn't it, or was it his 4th?
That's a good question. I thought it was his 3rd year, which means they'd have him for 2 more years of team control.
Let him prove it for a guy. Why do you have to do it after 3 years? I don't get it. Let him prove it. It's like that's the good deal with Baker Mayfield now. He's got to prove it. And of course, they got 2 of them down there in Carolina, which is idiot. But that's why I said, get Mayfield. Don't pay him. Let's see if he's good or not. So.
Right. If you have to, if you own a sports team and you have to put a clause into what should be a superstar player, you have to study, or you have to say that player has previously not given his best, so he has to look me in the eye and assure me that he will. You know what? You might not want to do the contract.
Yes, Andrew Wiggins.
I know, but I'm saying, like, when you say that, you've answered your question.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. It's but why? I wonder how it got out. Who was smart enough? Who had a good enough? Who broke it that it was in there? Do you know?
Was it Rappaport?
I think it was one of the
Schefter
rap sheet or one of the big guys.
I think it was rap
Who
sheet.
the hell would give him that information?
Somebody with the Cardinals who wasn't in love with the contract.
Wow. The Cardinals, the bid will still own them, right? A bid will still own them.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I was gonna say this real quick. Some of these guys, like some of these guys, have access to the actual contract portal.
Oh,
so that's where they get that. So I think what happens is agents will give access to some of these reporters. So that's how you get these like really in-depth breakdowns of contracts. So maybe someone saw the actual contract and read through it. Maybe that's how Rap Sheet got it.
It's too good to be true.
Yeah,
it is too good to be true. But I see our guy Paul Allen is attempting to create some Cousins Zim news by how upset Zim was with the push last year, and they wanted to go fighting, and then because Floria and Allen are buddies, they put that on Pro Football Talk like it's some news. this is the greatest news he's broken since Marty York reported that the Vikings signals were being stolen in the 2001 title game, NFL title game. How does this become? Who gives a damn?
Well, it would have been great fodder 9 months ago if you had
Unless
the
it
actual
was-
inside scoop, which I'm guessing he did 9 months ago and just didn't say it.
It was fully vetted, though, right back then. I have checked with a couple of people who talked to Zim, right? He is human, but they're all advising him to just sit back, relax, and take Ziggy's money and not come firing back at this organization, which is trying to sell the evil Zim narrative that will make us all love the new administration.
The Vikings are shocked that Zim has not talked. Like, they are very surprised because ordinarily he couldn't help himself.
No,
but I guess he just,
he's
sits
not
home, has some cocktails, and starts
according to
texting.
two guys he's not calm about it. He wants to go.
No.
He's got people advising him not to. He wants to come
Well,
firing.
Mike, my advice: come out and talk. Let's get the whole story.
Well, sure.
Let's get it all out,
that's
Mike.
all of our advice, but
Exactly.
he's got other people telling him, just it doesn't do you any good to say, to be like Jerry Kill with Fleck. It doesn't.
But isn't there's I think this is where it's so hard because people like to paint things in black and white, and like either you think Zim was terrible or you think he was screwed, and the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. And that the first 5 or 6 years of his, for sure the first 4 years, he was regarded as a really good coach. He was like 15 games over 500. And I think, even though I think he deserved to lose his job, I am so annoyed by the narrative that he was the only problem and the cancer.
That's
and
what
for
I'm
his sake going forward, if he wants to be a coordinator or a head coach again at some point, he probably does need to come out and defend himself tactfully, right?
Yes, but the tactfully is a tough Zim. When
It is.
Zim when he gets going, when he gets that, you just pointed to your neck. When he gets that nerve going in his neck, he's ready to go. So I don't think he has any aspirations of being a head coach again. Although who knows? It's goofy, but I think he'll be a consultant or something someplace. But it's got to be. He's got 2 more years, though, right? Doesn't he get paid twice? 2 more years.
It's at least 2 seasons. Yeah.
But it is hilarious that we have decided that evil Zim. And by the way, he deserved to be grumpy last year because his quarterback, who he never liked that much, misses the biggest game of the year because he won't take a vaccine, right? He should have been grumpy.
The quarterback is the key guy here, though. If we could ever, and it's going to be damn near impossible, get the quarterback to even slightly badmouth Mike, I think we could smoke Mike out. I think Mike would probably lose his mind and tell his advisors to screw off. That's what we need. We need to smoke Mike out of that Kentucky home.
Hopefully
his old Kentucky home.
Cousins will let it slip about his poor relationship with Zim. And didn't we? Now, where are we getting the information that O'Connell's already talked to him more than Zim did in 4 years?
O'Connell flat out said yesterday or the day before that we already have weekly one-on-one sessions. He might not have said weekly, but we have regular one-on-one sessions that we're already partaking in.
I know, but what I'm saying is, did he then? We need someone to compare that. We need Cousins to say that Zim never talked to me, and this guy talks to me all the time. Then we'll go, right?
Cousins has gone nowhere near any of this.
We were told last year when Mike and Kirk started to meet flat out that they had never met on a weekly basis and talked until that year. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a safe jump to a conclusion.
And I wouldn't. That might not be rare in the NFL. The guys that have the offense, that might not be rare that the coach has a weekly meeting with the
quarterback.
With the quarterback. Well, I mean, if you're
you're raising doubt.
You're a defensive guy.
I'm pretty sure of myself here.
Huh?
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Come on, we got to smoke Mike out, Reusse. Quit helping him.
If you're a defensive guy, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell you? If you trust your offensive coordinator, now that's a big if because Zim got rid of 4 of them. But I don't think Zim is like Belichick talking to Brady. It's not like Belichick and Brady saying, this is what you're going to do. And Brady saying, how about we can do this instead and have an hour and a half twice a week, the two biggest brains in football. This Cousins and Zim wouldn't have been the two biggest offensive brains in football like Belichick and Brady. So, anyway.
Man, they should have documented those meetings. How much would you pay to watch 17 episodes, 45-minute episodes of Zim and Kirk meeting on Thursdays? Take my money.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. So the Fighting Twinks, I'm guessing they have our guy Celestino back tonight because Ursula is on paternity leave.
Judd, how is this going to trigger Judd? The players shouldn't be taking time off during the season. Players should be timing up when they
should still be getting a telegram that they had a baby.
They should. I believe when the labor process starts that you should leave. But as far as waiting around,
I don't know if he's waiting around.
I struggle with it. Well, I'd like to know.
80% of them are induced now anyway, so you can.
That's a good point.
The date.
Well, okay, miss one game then. Watch the kid's birth. Get that.
Right.
You don't need to be around. The kid's not going to remember you. I will always say this. My old man was at home asleep. My mom called my dad and said, it's a boy. I've turned out fine.
Explains a lot.
Well, that's for debate. But physically, yes. Okay. But anyway.
Thanks to Livia.
And then I got a hunch.
L-I-V.
I got a hunch there's a couple. They got to get a different backup catcher in here, don't they? This guy's.
That's what Doogie said. They're trying.
That's
to
what I want. I want the one move. The one move I want is the backup catcher move, and then the Twins can come out and.
Well, what I'm saying is, you don't want Sanchez catching every day, but they have no choice. And then I don't have to see Yanier Cano again, do I? I mean, let's put him out of the shuffle, the St. Paul Twins shuffle. Let's fire him from that because I think when you prove that you can't pitch 3 times in a row in recall, and when you're recalled, that should be an option at 3 times in a row. That should be your limit. That's all you get. If you don't get anybody out in 3 times, then we bring somebody else up here. But so little moves here for this weekend against the underachieving Padres.
Yeah.
Once again, although they might. I think they're on the final list of 4 teams to land Juan Soto. It's like I think I saw, is it Cardinals, Mariners, Padres, and
Dodgers, right?
The Dodgers? Okay.
California teams.
What is the hurry? Why doesn't Washington wait another year? They got him for 2 more years. Yeah. Why don't they wait another year? What's the hurry? It's weird. It's weird. I don't think this is the best time to trade him either. I'd wait till the winter and when position players bring more value. But I don't know. He's awful good.
He is. He's a good ball player. All right, Pat. Well, we got to run.
I'm done with it. When I go out to D.C., I've gone to 3 Nats games in that ballpark. I like it, but I'm done. The chili dogs aren't going to get me to show up at any more games if they don't have. If they're, I don't have to go see a 60 and 100 team. I don't need that. I can see that around here often enough. So.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Pat. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk trade deadline again next week.
All righty. See you.
There he is, Mr. Training Camp himself, Patrick Reusse. All right, that Wrap with Reusse session was presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been helping businesses for over 100 years maximize their potential through risk management tools and resources. If you want to find out about all the different ways Federated can help your business, go to federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.